Hello and welcome to today's video where OP ban her husband's female friend from coming to their house again. Am I the a-hole for telling my obese friend that she should eat less? I'm 17, quite slim, although I don't think I'm underweight. I'm 110 pounds and 5 foot 5 inches, and I have a friend 19 who is quite obese. Now I never made any comments about her body as it can come off as offensive, plus I hate it when people comment about mine. However, for the past couple of weeks she's been making small comments here and there about how lucky it is to be skinny, complaining about not having the ideal body shape, and how my cherries are so small it must be so easy for me. One time she also bought a shirt I picked out, because I did not have enough cleavage to look good in that style. Well, yesterday while we were eating lunch with a bunch of friends, her friends, I don't really know them, but I don't mind their company, she told me jokingly that I should eat more, so that men can tell that I'm a woman, and not a kid. She laughed and some of her friends did too, however the others looked a bit uneasy. I felt really embarrassed and angry since I find it hard to gain weight, and have taken years to actually like the way that I look. So I told her that she should eat less, and stop pushing your insecurities onto me, just because you don't like that you're obese. She then yelled about how rude and inconsiderate I was to be body shaming her, and that I can F off, since men prefer curvy women anyways, to which I said, not with that shitty attitude they don't, before paying for my dish and walking out. Now I'm getting text messages all over saying I shouldn't body shame other people and spread hate, after she posted on her social media crying. I don't think I'm the a-hole here, but I could be, so am I? Am I the a-hole for banning my husband's female friend from our house? I, female 27 years old, have been married with my husband, male 32 years old, for 3 years and haven't been dating for a little over 5. My husband has this friend, female 31 years old, Mary. They've known each other since they were in high school and she's considered one of the boys, if you may. That basically means she's always invited to all the fishing trips and stuff, which I don't mind at all. I trust my husband. Well, my problems with Mary started when she first found out I'm half Romanian. It started kinda innocently, with her asking me to say certain words, teach her some insults etc, which didn't necessarily bother me, but it usually put me on the spot whenever we were out with my husband's group of friends. It only escalated to her googling stuff about Romania, and asking me, are you a vampire? Do you bite your husband by the neck? To, are you a gypsy? I bet you've got some of that gypsy blood in you, which is just blatantly racist. Last week, me and my husband organized a mini BBQ with our friends and Mary was invited by my husband despite me telling him she makes me uncomfortable. He said he had talked to her about her remarks and she's been understanding, so it's unlikely she'll say something this time. It was midnight and there were about 4 of us left, and I accidentally spilled some red wine on Mary's jeans when I tripped over a carpet. All hell broke loose. Mary started saying that I'm a witch, and I'm trying to ruin her life and this whole thing is part of my ritual, and I'm just a backquote immigrant gypsy trying to ruin my husband's life and I've poisoned my husband against her. I started crying and profusely apologizing. When she wouldn't drop it, I kicked her out and banned her from ever coming to my house again. Am I the a-hole for doing this? My husband insists that Mary was just drunk and talking nonsense and he would talk to her. He also told me I'm way too sensitive about my heritage, and I'm an a-hole for banning her. Mary has since given me a half-hearted apology, but I'm still not okay with her. Edit. I guess this is the update some of you wanted. Sorry I'm still a mess and I don't know how coherent I am. We've talked. He admitted to being in and out of an affair with Mary in the first 2 years of our relationship and she wanted to win him back, I guess. I called my mom to come help me pack some stuff and I'm out. That's it. Mary can have him. I've been gaslit for years, and it took a Reddit post to realize. Oh, the irony. Thank you Reddit. Edit 2 and probably the last one for a period of time. A lot of people seemed suspicious of Mary and my husband's friendship/relationship etc, and have asked if I ever suspected anything. No, I didn't. Me and my husband had, or I thought we had, a very strong relationship, based on communication and honesty. Guess it only applied to me. Also, Mary is very close with all the boys in the said friendship group. The other wives raised concerns in the past, but they've all been shut down by the boys in the group, or by Mary herself. I guess I always respected their friendship group, because they were very close for so long, and it felt unfair to change that because of me. As far as I'm aware, the other wives feel the same. Plus Mary has been in a relationship for about 2 years and always claimed she's focusing on her career. She's too busy etc, so none of us ever saw her as a potential threat. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to give my entitled mother keys to my new condo? For context, I'm female 24 years old and just bought my very own condo. I took out a loan that I will have to pay back over the next couple of years, but I looked at, bought, etc. the condo myself. My mother, female 53 years old, had nothing to do with it. Now, my mom has always been entitled. When I first moved out, she gaslit me into giving her keys to my new place, which she kept referring to as her apartment. I folded then, and regretted that choice, when she kept showing up unannounced, while I was at uni. As for my new place, she has already threatened to throw me out, and get herself a new tenant, if she ever comes in, to find dishes in the sink. I never claimed to be the most tidy person, but that didn't sit well with me. What right does she have to throw me out of a condo I own? My name is in the register, no one else's. I don't want her to gaslight me into folding again, but she is adamant it is her apartment, and that she is technically the owner as she birthed and raised me. I love my mom, but I'm terrified. When I said I wouldn't give her any keys to the place, she lost her mind, calling me ungrateful, that it was her apartment, that I had no right to keep her out of it. I still feel like this is my property and my name on the loan, but I'm also terrified of cutting her off because I know she will ruin my life as she sees fit. She once called the police to do a wellness check on me because I was in the tub and didn't respond to her messages quickly enough. So, Reddit, will I be the a-hole for not giving my mom keys to my new place? Edit. Thank you all for your time, efforts and help. I have decided to buy another CCTV system for my back entrance and give her a fake key to avoid any fallout while she still has control over some of my accounts. I've also spoken to my grandparents, who have stated they are fine with me going no contact. I'm slowly starting to realize how bad the abuse has been and how much trauma I still need to work through, but it is thanks to you that I can finally see that. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad I plan on never speaking to my brother once I turn 18? I'm male 16 years old, we'll keep this as short as possible. My mum and dad divorced when I was 4. I lived with my mum until I was 14, and my brother lived with my dad. He was 20 when I moved up to live with him and my dad. I have another older brother who still lives with my mother, but he is not relevant in this other than the fact I'm much closer with him. I had to move in because my mother couldn't take care of me. My dad happily let me come live with him. I think the only other relevant backstory is that I have SPD, sensory processing disorder. This affects how sensitive my hearing is. High-pitched and loud sounds are almost painful for me. My sight, very quick moving objects, and flashing lights can overwhelm me. And my touch, I can't stand certain textures, or random, unworn skin-on-skin contact. Everyone in my family knows this, and is very accommodating, which I'm always incredibly grateful for. Everyone except my brother. He plays extremely high-pitched audio in my ears randomly. He'll flash lights in my eyes. He's even told his friends I love hugs so much, and I'm really happy when people randomly hug me. I'm not. It's been like this for the 2 years I've been living with him and my dad, and it's only gotten worse. Most recently, he called me to his room, saying he was hurt and needed help, and when I ran into the room, he played his speakers as loud as they could go, and turned on strobe lights that he has for whenever he goes to a party. I completely lost it. I felt like I was underwater. I remember scratching at my ears and around my eyes, but other than that I don't remember much. My dad came and helped me and told my brother not to do it again. My dad always speaks to him about it every time after, and he always says he won't do it again, but he always does. Yesterday was a breaking point for me. I'd been downstairs baking with dad when he came in and said he was having some friends over in the back garden with social distancing. My dad said that's fine, and my brother asked if he could take out his speaker and put the lights on. Dad asked me if I was okay with that, and I said yes, as long as I got plenty of notice. My brother screamed at me, saying, "Oh my god, for once in your life, can you be normal? I shouldn't have to warn you of anything. You're so annoying." My dad asked him to stop shouting and he did. He left, and my dad asked if I was okay, and I told him why. Does it matter if I'm okay or not? I've dealt with this for 2 years, only 2 more, and I never have to speak to him again. My dad got upset. He is very close to his 3 brothers, my uncles, and thinks I should just forgive him to patch things up. He said he was disappointed in me for thinking about cutting my brother out of my life. I was always considering going no contact with him because of everything he's done, but after what my dad said I can't help but think if I'm overreacting to this. Will I be the a-hole for cutting him out the day I turn 18? Update. So much has happened since I posted this, so I wanted to come and let you know I'm currently typing this safely from my mother's, while my other older brother's chucking popcorn at me to catch in my mouth. Thank you so much to everyone who commented and messaged me. What James did to me never registered as abuse until it was pointed out to me. I wouldn't have had the courage to do what I did without all of your support, so thank you for saving my life. After reading the comments, I decided to give my dad one last chance to put an end to James' behavior. I sat him down and told him that what he was doing to me was physically painful. How would he like it and someone smacked him and pinched him constantly? He told me he was sorry I felt that way, but I also have to understand how difficult it is for my brother to adjust to having another person in the house. I saw red, I lost it. I screamed at him that a 22-year-old should be able to get used to not being dad's center of attention, that it was no excuse to exploit my disability to torture me constantly. He didn't say anything, so I walked out, just left and walked to my favorite skate park nearby. I called my other brother, Daniel, and told him I needed him to come get me right away. My mum was at work, so I didn't call her. He was there in 20 minutes, and I told him everything James has done and what dad said to me. I've never seen him as angry as he was. He told me to get into his car, so I did, and he drove us to my dad's. He told me to go pack all my bags, and that he was taking me home. Dad tried to talk to me, but I ignored him, just started packing. I couldn't make out everything that was said, but Daniel laid into him, screaming his head off. I didn't have much, so I was packed quick. He told me to go wait in the car. I found out from him, after he came to the car, he was in the house an extra 10 minutes, that he went to James and told him to never think of contacting either of us again. Apparently James tried to convince him that it should have just been him and Daniel, that I shouldn't have been born at all, that everything was better before I was. Daniel punched him hard. He had 2 fractured fingers that he got treated after we left, and that's it. I haven't heard from them since. Daniel told me to write a list of everything that sets off my SPD, and that he'd make sure the house is as SPD safe as possible. My mum cried when I told her what happened and promised I always had a place with her and Daniel. Which bring us to now, watching the perks of being a wallflower, typing this with Daniel still chucking popcorn at me.
Thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video you watched, you can subscribe to my channel and like the video for more Reddit videos.